If you're planning a road trip and you want to use Google Maps the right way, then this step-by-step will save you time, stress, and maybe even a few wrong turns. Hey, I'm Bing from Wonder Bing Travel, and I have solo road tripped over 70,000 miles with Lexi, my golden retriever. And today I want to tell you about a video I actually filmed last summer before a big summer adventure, and the info still holds up perfectly. I've trimmed it down and I've added a few new tips to make sure that it is as up to date as possible for 2025. So let's jump in and plan your trip with Google Maps. So Google Maps is an incredible tool to figure out time and distance specifically for your upcoming road trip. And of course, that's a big part of navigating, right? How long is it going to take and how far are you going to go? And for the purposes of this Google Maps tutorial, I'm going to use my own upcoming road trip as an example. So in last week's video, I showed viewers how I start with a US map, and then I move down into state maps and use the Rand McNally ones, which I really love, to decide on some of the details. So we're going to scoot over to Google Maps now, introduce you to how it works, where it's easy to navigate the time and the distance. Let's go check it out. Okay guys, so from here on out, you're actually going to get mini-me, which is probably preferable anyway. One funny little thing to note is that Google Maps is actually not googlemaps.com, but maps.google.com. So if you Google Maps, this is what you get. And you just click on it and then it will take you exactly where you want to go. Okay, so here we are. This is the main interface for Google Maps. It has come up with my location, which is in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So immediately you can see that as soon as there's a location in here, it's going to show you things about that location on the left-hand side. And of course, the majority of the screen is the map itself. So let's take a look at the map for just a moment here. We are going to be much more interested in factoring in time and distance to places, but this is what you get when you look up a particular spot. If I wanted to see the restaurants in the area, just a click of a button will give me that. There we go. There's a lot of restaurants. And it will also give me ratings and cuisines and so many details. You can also see across the top that it will show you hotels, things to do, museums. So lots of different things that can be very helpful down the road as you are honing in on specific places. But our primary focus today is going to be navigating, so looking at time and distance. Before we dive into that, I want to show you a few other features here. So this is pretty interesting. You can click on satellite, and instead of getting the regular view, you'll get more of a satellite version. You can also see traffic. And if you're biking, then it shows you bike trails as well. You can zoom, and it will give you more detailed information about the area that you're zooming into. There's also something called Street View. Okay, to use the Street View, you just click on this little guy down here, and then you can hone in onto an area that you want to see get a closer look at. So let's zoom in here to Front Street. I'm going to click here. All right, and so you can see we are now on Front Street in downtown-ish Harrisburg, and it allows me to even go down the street by clicking on this button. And I can click and drag and look at the view. I can see what's on either side of me. I can go all the way around. This is a really nice feature when you are looking and scoping out a hotel, for example, a place that you might be staying by yourself. You're not sure if it looks really safe or not. I use this a lot when I'm looking at places to stay because I am a solo traveler much of the time. So those are some of the features, the basic part of the interface of Google Maps when you're looking at a specific place. What we're interested in today, though, is navigating to a bunch of different places. So let's do that. And you do that by clicking on directions over here. So as soon as I click on directions, I'm going to get a different screen. So my first destination is actually going to be Sheridan, Wyoming. This is the first of my main places that I'm going to be staying this summer. So I just type that in there and it's going to compute. Now notice that I have Sheridan first and Harrisburg second. So I'm going to switch those around by clicking on these two buttons. so that I get the traffic going the right direction and all of that. Okay, so you can see really nice view here. Here we are over here in Harrisburg, going to Sheridan, and it shows me a couple of different options. Please note that this is always going to give you the fastest route unless you tell it to do otherwise. And let me show you what I mean by that. So right here you have an options button. If you click on that, you can choose to turn off the highways. So if I do that and say avoid highways, we go from 26 hours and 1,800 miles to 35 hours. There's still about the same number of miles, but notice that what it's done is taken me off of the highways the entirety of the trip. I love the no highway option. I believe in taking no highways and many legs of road tripping, but you need to know that if you do it like this, it's going to affect the entirety of the trip. I tend to use it more for individual legs instead of the whole thing, because this does add 9 hours to your trip. But you'll see a lot more interesting stuff. Of course, there are quite a few other places I'm going than just Sheridan, as I told you earlier. So I'm going to start putting in a couple of other places that I'm going to be going and show you how that works. So you just add the next destination. So I'm going to add the town of Red Lodge, Montana. I know that's one place I'm going to go. And it's just going to keep adding it to the list. I'm going to add Livingston, Montana. And you get the idea here. It just keeps going. It affects the time. It affects the mileage. It's just showing you. And again, I think we have the highways turned off. So let's turn them back on for now. So we have a 31-hour trip now. But you can see it's finding its way around to everything. I actually put all of these in here, and I'm going to switch over to the screen so you can see what it looks like. These are all of the places, main places that I'll be going. Let's take a quick look. Red Lodge, Livingston, Moran, Wyoming, Edwards, Colorado, Westcliff, Colorado, Breckenridge, Colorado, and then I added home back in here again so it would calculate the mileage back home. All right, this is a long drive, friends. This is 73 hours of driving and 4,700 miles. So I am doing that over the course of about 33 days. But this is so important as you're navigating and trying to figure out what you want your trip to look like, because this may be shocking to somebody who's like, this is what they thought they wanted to do, and then they actually put it in here like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to drive almost 5,000 miles in 73 hours. I need to make some serious adjustments to my trip. So you can see here, it does give you a really good idea. For the last part of our tutorial, what I'm going to do here is take a lot of this away. And I'll show you why. Get rid of everything except for Sheridan. Also, one other thing I didn't point out is it's going to defer to driving, but if you were walking or riding a bike or flying or taking transit, then it would give you other options there. You can figure out those as well. Navigation is a huge part of planning a road trip, but of course there are so many more moving parts, if you will. I have created a guide that I think will be really helpful for you. It's called the Going Solo Quick Start Guide, totally free. If you're interested, you can check it out in the link below, download it, and get yourself that much closer to your first solo road trip. Now let's get back to it. Okay, so we're really going to just focus on this leg of the trip, this first week, because it's just too overwhelming to do all of the things and try to plan it all at once. First week, it's not even quite a week. It's 5 nights and 6 days from Harrisburg to Sheridan. If I was doing it straight through, it's 26 hours on the highway. I'm not interested in that. I've decided to take a much longer time, and I want to see some things along the way. So I'm actually taking quite a different route, and this is where using the US map and then honing that down into the different state maps is really helpful, which is what I did last week. I figured out those individual places. So now I'm going to show you what those are, put them on this map, and see how this is adjusted. I've put my places in here. They are Angola, Indiana, Sparta, Wisconsin, Grand Forks, North Dakota, and Lewis and Clark State Park, which is in North Dakota, and then finally in Sheridan. As you can see, I took a very different route. I'm not going straight across. I'm going considerably out of my way, and it is going to cost me about 6 hours in doing so, if I stay entirely on the highways, which I will not. But this is a choice I made. This is where I've let Google Maps show me what is the quickest, and I know I have a great starting place. So I know now, and this is something cool to show you over here. If we go to detail, I can see how long each leg of the trip is. Paper maps and Google Maps, where I have looked at the paper maps and kind of figured out where I wanted to stop, and then I go back to Google Maps and plug it in and see how long it is. I've already done some of that back and forth, so now I'm just showing you the end result. So I've already committed that, yeah, this is going to be a 7.5 hour drive, but I'm fine with that. My goal is to get out west. While I want to see things along the way, I don't need to putz around for the first couple of days. I just want to get a lot of miles under my belt. So I'm going to knock out a lot of driving in those first days. Okay, these next couple legs really are much less driving. I've spent quite a bit of time, honestly, breaking this up into a way that makes it work for me, so I'm happy about that. And again, this is all highways, and I love that it gives me the turns. I can also, when I'm finished with this, I can send it to my phone, I can share it with someone else, or I can print it. If you love the idea of making a road trip something transformational, of finding freedom and wonder out on the road, then that's what my book, There's Wonder Around the Bend, is all about. It's an inspiring guide for solo road tripping, and it's full of stories and lessons, equipping and inspiring people to take their own travels and get out there on the road. You'll find the link below. Okay, one more thing, and I know I keep talking to you about highways and no highways. This is my philosophy, and know that this comes from years of experience. I'm actually not even going to use this Google Maps when I am on my trip. This is for planning purposes only, at least for me. So once I'm on my trip, I know that first day I'm going to be driving 7.5 hours. I'm probably just going to go from A to B as fast as I can. But as I get a little bit further out, each day I'm going to really look at the route, and especially if it's a shorter one, where are the places that I'm going to want to stop during the day? I look for places like hikes, places for Lexi to go swimming, small towns that are really fascinating. I don't want to pass up the opportunity to seek wonder while I am on this first week-long leg of my road trip. So that is Google Maps in a nutshell. I think it's very intuitive, it's not complicated, and you've seen a lot of the features now. But remember, you want to use it to your benefit. If all you do is GPS, you are going to miss out on so much of what this country has to offer. Or if you're traveling overseas, don't just plug it in and go. You're going to miss out big time. Okay, that was your crash course in using Google Maps to plan a road trip. I actually filmed, as I mentioned, the majority of that before I took a long cross-country road trip last summer. But I wanted to pop back into it and freshen it up a little bit for new viewers like you, and you can see the updates and just really learn how to use Google Maps to the best of your advantage before a road trip. But it's also important to note that solo road tripping is about transformation and freedom and wonder, and it's not just a checklist, and it's not just Google Maps, but it certainly is helpful. If you're ready for the next step or two, then go ahead and click the link below to download the Going Solo Quick Start Guide, which is totally free, or pick up a copy of my book, There's Wonder Around the Bend. I'm going to link an extra video here for you as well to help you get started. Thanks for stopping by. Have fun with Google Maps, and I hope to see you on the road.